In a recent video in the comments, you guys have said more vlogs, Tech Yes City, and there's actually quite a few upvotes on the comments. People want more vlogs. So today we're going behind the scenes to find out exactly what is up at Tech Yes City, what's going on, and what's keeping me so busy. And first of all, I will say we got this RTX 3080 or 3090 in, and in the recent parts hunt, the story behind this was I went to buy an RTX 4080 and the guy gave me the box. I opened it up on the box and there was this in there. And I said, this is not an RTX 4080. I'm not paying 1,100 Australian dollars for it. So he gave me my money back and he said he was so sorry that his son mistook it and his son sold the 4080. That was the story behind it, and that he just wasn't aware of it at all. And then he's finally come around. I think it took him like a week. He's tried actually cleaning it out himself and it looks like to no avail. It's still pretty dirty. And he said, look, take a look at it, tell me what you can do with it. And we'll be doing that later on in the vlog here today. We'll be taking a look at this 3080 or 3090 and seeing if it does even turn on. We'll just give it a quick clean down, see if it turns on. But besides that, we've got a lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes here. First of all is the studio is just looking a lot better right now. I've cleaned it all up and it's just pretty much close to, like, at least for my workflow, close to perfection, I believe. If you guys have any sort of hints or tricks or tips, be sure to lend me a comment and let me know what you think. But it's just in terms of functionality, it's just crazy how much, I guess, streamlined, maybe you guys notice the content's starting to come out a little bit more. That's because it just once my workflow and my ability to work faster is there, I can then work faster. But this is a crazy new addition here where I cannot believe how cheap standing desks have become nowadays. We got this one for I think it was like 130 something Aussie dollars a piece. So I got one first and then my son and my wife, they saw it and they were like, we want one of these too. Because it's 140 centimeters wide, 60 centimeters long, and it's an electronic standing desk. Like for basically under 100 USD, I cannot believe how cheap these desks are getting. Like that's just absolutely crazy. Now for me personally, it's like 73 centimeters for the sitting down and then 110 centimeters for the standing. That's like the levels that I've found are the best in terms of workflow. But also you'll notice this is a different setup to the benchmarking setup and the main setup there. And basically this is gonna be a streaming setup. So we're gonna be bringing streaming back, which just like the vlogs, heavily requested. We're gonna be bringing the streams back at Tech Yes City, but that's once I get the hardwired internet, which is still up in the air. I called them up yesterday for an update and they said, look, they called the NBN because you can't directly call the national broadband network in Australia. You gotta go through a carrier. And then they said it's still it could take up to the 21st of November still. And then I said to them, well, the previous time I spoke to you guys, why are you still billing me for internet I'm not using? And they said, oh, well, that's just the system. When you get your internet activated, we'll give you a credit back on your account and for the days that you haven't been using it and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, a lot of these internet companies, they like to talk and not deliver. And that's a common thing in Australia. So not surprised that things have gone sort of lemon sideways at Tech Yes City in terms of internet. But we did get a solution for the time being. Thank you guys so much. That solution was actually in this room right here, which is still work in progress. We're gonna talk about that very soon. There's still a lot of work in progress here. We've just got a new table as well, a really good deal on a table. But basically I borrowed a Starlink off my friend and that just didn't work because the account has some back billing or something like that. And it just, you couldn't transfer the actual Starlink satellite over. It was just very difficult. And you guys just said in the comments, look, just get an eSIM, hook it up to your smartphone, plug it into your router, which is the GLI net, and you're good to go. Like you're gonna have internet. And for 20 Aussie dollars a month, we have patch internet. And for streaming, it's not consistent. Like it's not that consistent at all, but it will do the job until we get the hardwired internet. So that's what's going on there. Also soundproofing, you guys have talked about that. We got some sound tiles coming. I'm gonna make sure that the soundproofing at this place is gonna be top notch as well in the coming weeks. But let's talk about deals, because behind the scenes, we've been getting some deals outside of tech, like actually some really cool deals that we'll talk about quickly if you guys like those kinds of deals. And of course, we'll do that right after today's video sponsor.
Do you need to get Windows activated and don't want to spend stupid amounts of money on a key? Well, if that's you, then today's video sponsor SCD Keys has you covered. For as little as $21 for Windows 11 Pro or $13 for Windows 10 Enterprise, you can get activated instantly. And also, don't forget to use the coupon code BFTYC for a big juicy discount. Links in description below.
So welcome back to Tech Yes City, and what we've got here is these new speakers. I bought a Logitech Z, I think it was 623 for my son. I got that in a recent video, and that's gonna be because he's got a smaller desk. He's gonna maximize his space and get that little kit. But what I decided to do here, you'll notice we've got these black sort of studio looking speakers, and that's because I've been on a spray paint rampage lately. I got these 5.1 setup, and that's the sub down there. I actually got a 5.1 setup off Marketplace for 100 Aussie dollars, and that includes a 10-inch active sub, which is insanely good value for money considering how good it sounds. Now, in terms of amps, I was looking at just your typical amplifiers out of the computer itself, and what I saw was this one here from DOUK Audio, and this one was incredible. Like, I cannot believe how good budget audio is nowadays. This one here is by far just a champion in terms of, you need a good speaker amp, the 2.1 if you've got an active sub, because it doesn't have an active out for the sub, but it's got two channels left and right, which will power your speakers. I think it's 4 to 8 ohms, and it'll power them really well, and crystal clear. I could not believe the value you're getting out of just getting some speakers yourself and budget speakers that people don't want anymore, and then getting one of these amps. And then you plug it up to your PC or whatnot, and you'll just get incredible value for money. I was just blown away by the audio quality that you get on a budget. Plus, of course, I'm a budget enthusiast as well. And out of this kit, I've still got 3 speakers left over that I can then respray black and make them, say for instance, if my son's like, "Dad, I want a setup like yours," we can then sell his Logitech setup and then upgrade him. But he said he's not that keen on sound as I am. So I think in due time though, he will be as keen as I am as sound, because I absolutely love my budget sound systems, especially when they sound this good. Though in terms of our spray painting endeavors, we are certainly not finished right here. We've got, what we're looking at is a table that I picked up off Facebook Marketplace. Now, I got this for 100 Australian dollars, and it's, I think, 180 long by 90 wide, and it's about 73 centimeters tall. So for fixing the height of this, because it's gonna be a build desk for mainly PCs and stuff like that, I do like it to be around 90 centimeters to a meter high. That's my perfect height for build desks. So we've ordered off AliExpress just some cheap legs, and we're gonna raise this table up. But you'll also notice that I've spray painted this silver from its original sort of washed, I didn't even know what color it was before, like a antiqued wood. And now it's like a vibrant, electrifying silver that we've given it one coat, we sanded it back, gave it another coat, all off the same can of spray paint, which was insane because we got a lot out of this spray paint, and then we gave it a coat of clear. So all up about 15 bucks on spray paint, and then we've got, like, for me personally, like a jazzy new table. Now in the background there, we've got a flip that's ready to rock and roll in about, I think about half an hour's time. They're coming to pick it up. That's just me, that's what I do over there with sort of my budget parts. I couple in a monitor or 2 monitors, keyboard, mouse, and just like an old GTX 1080 and stuff like that, and we get around 500 Aussie dollars for that flip. So that just sort of makes budget, and we're making a different product in the market that people are really keen on. And so when you're offering value on the low end for the whole setup, people just look at that and they're like, yeah, I need to get into PC gaming just on a budget. And so that can really help people out. Though also, off Marketplace, we need to get a lawnmower. And of course, I picked up a budget, like honestly, this was one of the craziest deals I got. The dude had a whippersnipper, 2 batteries, a charger, and then another 2 batteries and a charger. And he said he used it for about a year. And I'm just like, man, dude, this thing's like $700 for this kit at Bunnings. So I got this for 200 Aussie dollars off Marketplace. Absolutely stoked, because then we can utilize those batteries, and we were able to get like a leaf blower without the batteries at all. So I'm really just mixing and matching and maximizing value at Tech Yes City. and that's one thing I do. But anyhow, this build desk, I'm gonna be using it very soon in a video for you guys. It's pretty much dried out. I spray painted it yesterday. It's dried out. I'm gonna put it in the main studio. And of course, what else would deserve a better first video on this table than a used Xeon for gaming? Now, after we flip that PC, we've got a reload there ready to go. These monitor stands, actually, I think we got one of them in a parts hunt before, and then I think Les might have given us one as well. So yeah, we're just utilizing spare parts, and then again, that's the reload for the PC. So always gotta have a reload handy when you are flipping, because you always wanna have something up for sale, right? Anyhow, the spray painting rampage has not ended there. This is one of the weirdest things where I was just spray painting those other speakers that I picked up off Marketplace. I sprayed them just that sort of antique timber. I spray painted them black, and I was like, man, I've got to do my onkyos. And so we've resprayed those black. But one thing I found out when I was doing all these speakers and testing them out, the tweeter was damaged and broken on one of them. And I thought for a while they'd sounded off, even when I first picked it up, and I couldn't tell what it was. But then I found out the actual tweeter was not working. And so I then changed the tweeter from the working one to the broken one, and it worked. So it wasn't any of the speaker wiring or anything like that. It was the tweeter itself. And the good thing about AliExpress was I managed to jump on AliExpress and order a replacement tweeter 6-ohm kit that was looked like it was exactly identical to these. And so that's coming, and that should do a good job. And that's again going to be a 2.1 setup. And it's going to utilize this cheap ramp here that I got off AliExpress as well. I was testing out budget audio, and this was like the BT20A Pro. Got really good reviews, and it's Bluetooth, so it'll be perfect for this setup right here when I'm building and I want to listen to music. And so for instance, we're recording and I'm not doing any voice work. But one thing I will say is the FOSI, if you guys are interested in the DOUK audio or the FOSI audio, the DOUK it costs a little bit more, but it just sounds like, if we're getting into those little minor crisp details, it just sounds a lot warmer than the FOSI audio. This thing sounds very bright, a bit harsher, and a bit more treble forward. But then the 3D imaging detail and warmthness of the DOUK is just better. It's just a clearer, better amp in general. And you can see here the treble, I've had to turn the treble down from the medium set, like the mid setting, the balance setting. I've had to turn that down just to get a normal sort of sounding as opposed to the DOUK audio. I leave it on to its normal level and it still has less treble than this. So if you guys are wondering which one should I get, if you can definitely spend that little bit extra, if you can, then the DOUK audio is going to deliver. But of course, this is going to be fantastic value for money still. In fact, I think this would probably be better value for money if you're getting speakers extremely cheap. But we're still waiting on the tweeters before we patch these up. And I love this budget audio stuff. Part of a vlog, guys. You guys want the vlogs, you're getting the audio stuff in the vlogs too. Anyway, on this shelf right here, we've got some new additions. First of which is gonna be, I'm gonna try and do like the world's smallest gaming PC. It's gonna be a sub 4 liter build using this little 5060 right here. And it's gonna be so weird. It's a medical grade power supply. I don't even know what's going on here. I'm just gonna give it a try and see if it ends up being that sub 4 liter. Now, I'm a bit confused. Do you guys think I should use the Intel? I got these i7s. I still got a few of them, these 12700s. Got them on a budget, or do you think I should use maybe the 7800 X3D instead? Make it a more gaming focused PC as opposed to utilizing the Intel QuickSync. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments on this mini PC right here. I'm thinking probably just go for the 7800 X3D. Everyone loves gaming, and like world's smallest, fastest gaming PC would probably do well on the YouTube algorithm, but who knows? Besides that, we do have a trade-in that came in. And also besides that, it was an i9 10900K. They wanted to upgrade to a 7800 X3D because all their friends, they were an old client of mine, and well, their dad was, and then he said, my son wants to upgrade to a 7800 X3D. And I'm like, yeah, I can deliver that. And so it was weird because they were using a riser cable. And I just said, man, we can take the riser cable out, try just getting rid of the riser cable and see if your performance lifts up in games. And they're like, no, we just want that 7800 X3D. So I did the whole case transfer and everything because I said, look, I'm not letting a PC leave my studio with a riser cable, and because I don't want it coming back with inconsistent performance. So ended up building them a 7800 X3D PC. They gave us the old parts back, and yeah, I'm just not using riser cables in builds that I'm flipping anymore. It's just like, no, that's not happening. No way. I'm sick of riser cables. And even when we saw, you know, the weirdest thing is from RobTech, we saw the, in a recent video I was doing the parts hunt, I was trying to get this, his dock, that he had this PC dock thing with USB 4. And I was trying to get that working with the mini PCs. I had just nothing but troubles. And I tried this Razer Chroma one, it worked absolutely fine. But then he got it back to his place. I gave it back to him. And he sends me a message like, dude, the thing's working fine. And I'm just like, man, what? Like, what's going on with these PC docks? But then he said to me, well, people have reported issues with RTX 5000 series. And I was like, that's really weird because I just tried using an RTX 2070 Super with it and it still was giving out problems. But maybe at that stage, the RTX 5050 did something weird. And it was like, I don't want to work it with you. I remember you. I don't want to work with you. And then the 2070 comes in and it should work. And it's like, no, I remember you. I don't want to work with you. And it's like, okay. Anyway, PC docks and riser cables, yeah, I want to try and avoid them whenever I possibly can. Anyhow, before we move on to that RTX 3090 and cleaning it up and seeing if it works, we are going to get onto a little bit of a weird thing. This will be the last weird topic of today. Some people are like, Brian, you're crazy, you're losing your mind. Other people will be like, there's some legitimacy here, I want to hear it. So I want some input from you guys too, because I can't figure it out. I've got this EMF reader, I've had this for a while now, and it just reads signals. Like it'll just pick up signals in the house on EF, EMF, and RF radiation. And so you can see that right there. I'm holding it close to the mic, and just at random points in the house, I cannot figure this out, just randomly in the middle of this room, it'll be on like 50, and it'll start beeping like, hey, this is the first level of not great, and you shouldn't be in this 24/7. But then, like, when you go to the floor in the same area, it's like, it goes to 0. Go to the roof, go near like the fan, it goes, doesn't really do anything. And so it's just really, really weird where what would cause this meter to, at the same spots in the middle of the room, go to around 50. Now, some people would say, oh, it's buggy, but I don't, like, it's not buggy because, in my opinion, because whenever I go to the same spot, it's coming back with the same readings. And if I put it to the floor, it's going straight to 0 again. And it consistently gives out the same readings in the same areas. So I know the meter's not broken. So it's just a really weird one. If anyone's got any ideas as to why just in the middle of my room, it's just beeping like this, I'd love to hear why. Because ultimately, the first thing I've done is find like the sleeping positions of me, my wife, and my boy. The first thing I've gone and done is, I'll turn that beeping off quickly. The first thing I've gone and done is make sure where we're sleeping, we've got pretty much close to 0. So all our sleeping positions are close to 0, which is good. But then the next thing I want to do is just find out why is it just beeping randomly in the middle of the room? Is there some like secret tunnel of EF that's coming through this place that I'm not aware? I just have no idea. I can't figure that one out. And I haven't dug deep into the research yet as to what it could be, but anyway, if anyone's got any thoughts and opinions on that, would love to hear why in the comment section below. But also in terms of moving in, one thing I discovered recently is maybe, it's gonna be a bit crazy, but maybe I'm sensitive to Wi-Fi signals. It was weird with the internet, the first few days, we had no router on, no internet, and I slept like incredibly well. Then I turned the router on once I got the smartphone, turned the router on, like from there, the first night when I had Wi-Fi on, I just was getting the crappiest sleep. So what I've done now is I've scheduled my GL iNet router to turn off on the sleeping times, like 10 to 6 a.m. it's off now. And again, I've been sleeping better. So might be placebo, but I'm just gonna keep it up. If placebo's helping me sleep properly and I'm getting good sleep off placebo, then I'm just gonna keep it up. Don't really care. But I'm just, one of these crazy things where I've tried using the 2.4G band and using the 5G band exclusively. They both affect my sleep, I feel, anyway, because I just haven't been sleeping properly when either or is on. So kind of a crazy thing. But anyway, let's start testing out this RTX 3090 right now and see what the go is. So this graphics card ended up being an RTX 3080 and it is working. So credit to Miguel. That was the guy's name and he was one of those legit encounters. Gave him the benefit of the doubt and it showed that he wasn't, I guess he wasn't trying to hose someone with that deal. He'd made an honest mistake like he told me. And because I mean the card works. Like if the card didn't work at all, then I'd be even more suspicious because it's like, you know, you're trying to put a completely non-working card in a working box and pass it off as a working part. But sure enough, it works now. And yeah, I'm gonna just message him and see how much he wants for the card. We just basically changed the thermal paste over, gave it a quick clean down, made sure there was no sort of dire dirt that would be causing it to capacitate out or something like that and not work properly. And yeah, so the result's pretty good here. I mean, card's working absolutely fine. So yeah, we'll let it run. Obviously, I want to let it run for about an hour, make sure there's no cobwebs attached to the deal, but hopefully we can get this for a pretty good price. So we're now flash forwarding to the end of the vlog, or near the end of the vlog, and we've got that 3080. It's done pretty long in the stress test and it's still fine. I am waiting to hear back with what's the negotiation process is gonna be like. But in the meantime, we've got some just slowly building up this studio kind of thing in effect here. And it's a lot of fun, a lot of work, and there's still a lot more to do around this place, not just in terms of building up a studio, but also in terms of especially like gardening. And I've got to like do a lot more trenching than I thought because of where the weep holes are outside my home and how far the dirt has risen up over the years. And pretty much it's almost at those weep hole levels. So yeah, got a lot to do, but looking forward to it. It's all challenging, but at the same time, you know, Tech Yes City, love fixing things up, turning turds into gems. That's what we usually do around here. And even this 3090, that was a turd, or 3080, sorry, turd beforehand. Now it's polished up to at least a semi-gem. It's sort of like a rough cut gem at this point in time. May do a little bit more cleaning on it, but it's definitely looking a lot better than when we first got it in. So hopefully we get a pretty good offer back. But I will update you guys in the comment section below, and do let us know if you guys are enjoying these vlogs. If you have any questions or feedback as well, would love to hear it. The last thing on my mind though is I did start using the new table just a little bit, just to put the 3080 on there, and it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of would like to put down something that's like crazy strong in terms of protecting the top of the desk. So if anyone knows what the best sort of protective coat, because I did put a clear coat on there, but I don't think it's gonna last the mile. I need something like that's thick, strong, and I can coat over that, kind of like epoxy or something. It's just gonna protect the desk from just, I guess, me just being rough and cleaning parts on it and just dropping cases down and all this thing on it. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on that, would love to hear it. On a budget, of course. What can I do on a budget? And yeah, that's about it. As well as anything else in today's vlog. If you guys have input and feedback, love hearing it in the comment section below. And with that aside, we'll catch you guys with a Xeon PC build very soon. That's on the highest priority list after this vlog. Anyway, that might be, where's my phone? That might be that message. Might have got the message back. Nope, that wasn't it. False alarm, guys. I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. And if you enjoyed this one, be sure to hit that like button as well. And peace out for now. Bye.